So I gotta be honest with what I've been watching with AMD for a while now. I think AMD is a significant short squeeze fucking candidate. Like significant. Like I said, this is just already a legitimate situation that you rarely get in the market. A legitimate one, not the fabricated fucking COVID shit with GameStop and AMC and all that, but a legitimate one. Because I've been watching AMD for a long time now, for months, and I got into the market well before AMC and any sort of squeeze shit, so I'm in the market to make money, not have one play and be rich forever, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Um, this shit is short like fuck. I'm gonna dig a little deeper into it, but either way, I already know at this point, until all these wonderful new filings that are finally going to change this market over the course of the next year. I mean, in a drastic way. Like, that's what I'm in this shit for. That's what I'm holding AMC and GME and shit for, is for that. For that shit to change that looks like it is finally going to change. But this shit here, man, I know these guys been shorting AMD because it is an underdog in that space. Like I said, Intel reigns supreme, and AMD has come a long way. And I know for a long time now they have been kept short and held down by the big guy. And like I said, the COVID thing happening and the need for all of these chips and shit, all these data miners and everything for Bitcoin, cryptos, all that shit, semiconductors and CPUs, GPUs, all that shit has just been in such high demand that there was no way AMD couldn't be a part of it. Plus, they're prevalent in the console space. Consoles don't use Intel. But yeah, I think these fuckers fucked up because I really think they took the vast majority of their short positions under $80. The vast majority of them were under $80. Some of them probably well under $80. And that earnings call came out. I mean, this shit went from like the 80s to 100 in a blink of an eye and then just kept going. And I'm sure there were some smaller hedge funds that were like, oh, fuck this. Nope, I'm not getting the AMC treatment. I'm out. And that's probably what led to it continually running past what I was expecting it to go up to. But this right here, this is 100% a short attack. This is somebody is deep in this motherfucker, and they are going to bleed if this thing stays in the hundreds, especially over 110. They're just going to be bleeding. And there's probably a lot of shares because this shit bled for 2 days. I mean, for no, like, literally, it's a short attack, and it was very easy to see. For 2 days, this shit's been getting hit. That's just the reality of the situation. I expected a sell-off at some point, which was fine, and we kind of got a lot of that here. But this was a fucking hit. Like, this is a hit, and a hit, and a hit. The last Friday was a direct short attack. And this right here, this is another fucking hit. This is ridiculous. Jumps almost $2 in the pre-market. Has a trending bullish line going up. This doesn't happen. You don't get 10 million shares immediately dropped as soon as the bell rings on movement like this. The sell-off's already done. The people that are out, that made their quick buck for that move, are out. The momentum traders, day traders, they're done. They're gone. Somebody's nuts are just like dangling above some boiling water. That's the only explanation for this. And I already had a feeling that's what this was anyway, and what was going to happen. AMD just needed a catalyst, something to push it, like just make a quick $10, $15 jump and hold. I'm, again, in no way advocating anyone fucking go out and buy this shit or anything like that. I'm just showing you, like, this is just a rare scenario. You don't see this a lot. You really don't. I mean, you have more and more recently, but it's very rare to see it like this, organically, without, people catching wind of some shit, because AMD's not, like, huge in the retail space. People don't really like to touch stocks that are over $100 unless it's GME. But I feel, man, if this thing starts catching traction, which I know this is why they killed it so quickly and are trying to kill it so quickly, because they're scared to death that if retail fucking gets wind of this shit and starts actually buying into this shit, they're going to be in deep shit, like deep trouble. Like nowhere. I don't know how many shares are, I doubt there's probably a bunch of naked shares. They wouldn't necessarily need to do that, but they do not want this shit trending back up over 110 and heading upward again. Someone is trying very, very hard to keep this down. Very hard. And it makes sense. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming days and weeks with this shit, but I think this motherfucker's set up for a squeeze if people end up paying attention to it and end up coming into it. I think there are some hedge funds out there who fucked up when this was in the 70s and 80s, weren't expecting AMD to have the earnings report it had, or to have the vast majority of retail investors trade outside of the meme shit. So just keeping my eye on it. Just wanted you guys to really see a legitimate short attack, organic one, not one that you already know is fabricated, set up in that way for months now with like AMC and shit. See how AMC's doing. Yeah, kind of what I thought. I looked at it earlier and I saw this break and then this, and I was like, yeah, it's probably going to match. It's going to look exactly like this, because this is still being controlled. Look at that fucking pattern. Beautiful. I mean, that is beautiful. Don't get no more clean than that. You can fold that bitch right in half. So we'll see what happens. See the headline of the fantastic earning call, and somehow there was 14 billion votes, and then watch the price still drop. That's just the thing that kills me, is every single time there's been like a great catalyst, great news, something that's supposed to make this thing fucking go, it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Like, that's why I wish people would stop getting hyped up and stop treating this thing like it's normal and like it's okay to talk about it like it's normal. Because if every YouTuber out there was sitting with their fucking hands crossed, arms crossed, looking at the camera and being like, look at this manipulative bullshit right here. Like, look at this. No stock does this. No stock trades up exactly the same and then down exactly the same and then starts a new fucking pattern. How in the hell do we have all this great news? All this wonderful news about AMC and progress it's made, the business plan for the future, and nothing. We got all these people buying, everybody, millions of people saying they're buying, every day still buying. But somehow, this shit is like getting tanked. We'll see. We'll see. I'm telling you, no one paid attention to it. AMC was, or GME was at like, I think it was, I know it was over for sure, like 12% or something, like short interest. It was, I want to say it was like 14 or 15. And literally one day, just woke up and it was like 9%. It was under 10. Which, yes, there is the theory that they use their calls and put options to change the information, which you can do, but I am of the mindset that they've been shorting through ETFs and really returning their shares, like really returning them, because that makes more sense to me. It makes more sense to save them money in the long run and to lessen this blow. And they're actually probably at this point breaking even for the most part, because they're shorting the fuck out of it when it was up at like the 70s, and now they've cut it in half. And if they shorted when it was under 10 with where it's at now, uh, they're actually making more. They would be making more with shorting it from where it was in the 70s than what they're losing holding it if they were around 10 or so with where the price has been now. They're making more money than they're losing. Not much, but a little bit. And they still lost a lot. I mean, they still lost a lot. But these motherfuckers ain't hurting them, man. You're not hurting them. You're not hurting them. Let's see if they're still fucking AMD. Oh, no, trying to make a comeback. Yeah, you can only short so much with this shit without people raising some eyebrows here. Because this ain't a dying company. But definitely one to keep your eye on. I would absolutely love to see more people talking about AMD and looking into this. And while everyone's got to wait like a year for AMC to go off, could force this motherfucker to go off in like a week. But we'll see. Today's a big day. We'll see. See what's up with earnings in AMC. See what news comes out with AMC. We'll go from there. I really need to find a good video for you guys for how you can control the short interest for reports like Ortex and the shares outstanding, how you can manipulate that. Because it's, I don't think there's an actual video. I never saw a video about how to specifically do that for the purposes of shorting and fucking shit up. It's just an options call strategy that you can do without actually owning the shares, but you can simulate ownership through calls and puts to where the system believes you have these shares, and you can simulate technically returning them. You could also simulate shorting them to change the interest in there. So I'm going to see if I can find that video for you guys here in a minute. Yeah, and I recommend you guys pay attention to Zip Trader too. I like Charlie. He's of the mindset similar to me. I am a little more involved in the Viva la Resistance side of things. I really want change, and I will do what I can to do that. He is still more of the, yeah, he'd like to see it, but he's okay, with what it is now. He's playing the market for what the market is. But he's a smart kid. Some pretty good plays, very good information. So if you don't watch Zip Trader, I definitely would recommend you do so if you are in the stock market for more than AMC and GME. So, all right, I can get out of here. See what goes on with today. Later, guys.